We've spent years of our life talking about NATO at conference tables on both sides of the Atlantic.
But after years of talking to other NATO experts about the alliance, we decided to broaden the conversation and ask a cross-section of Americans visiting Washington on their summer holiday what they think about NATO. We met folks from
Arkansas,
Bellingham, Washington,
Chattanooga, Tennessee,
Davenport, Florida, which is near Orlando.
Here in Washington, Houston, Texas.
From Indianapolis,
From Maine,
Utah,
From New York, but I work here in Virginia.
And what we encountered in talking to folks from around the country surprised us.
We were accused of being the mainstream media, Washington journalists, or just plain old Washington insiders.
In cases where folks were willing to talk to us, we heard 4 general responses.
One was a simple message.
I think we should get out of it. I think we can handle issues ourselves.
So tell me more about that. Have you always felt that way, or is just things recently have made you think about doing that?
No, I've always thought that way. I don't think NATO needs to be the world's police force. I think countries can police themselves.
So when I say NATO, what do you think about?
Inefficiency, government bureaucracy, slow.
It's just a bunch of people deciding where Americans should go, where we shouldn't go, what we should do for other countries, or whether we should stay here and fight our own battles.
Some people simply didn't know what we were talking about.
So I'm going to be honest with you. So I don't feel like I am that educated. Like I'm not even educated enough to have that much of an opinion about it.
I know that, in the Balkan conflict, it was heavily involved, but since then, you don't hear about it quite as much.
Hi, I actually don't know what you guys are talking about, but I guess.
In other instances, folks had a generally positive view of the alliance, but agreed with the president that the Europeans needed to pay their fair share.
I think now my personal stance on it is I would like us to still be in it, but I do think everyone needs to pay their share. Yeah. That's the bottom line.
When we talk about NATO, when you think about NATO, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
They should pay their share.
Yep, I think that certainly is what a lot of people have been saying. Well, thank you very much.
All in all, though, many of the people we encountered had a positive view of the alliance and wanted the United States to stay engaged, which reflects the Pew survey from May of this year that found that 62% of Americans have a favorable view of NATO.
When we say NATO, what is the first thing that comes into your minds?
It's an alliance with the European countries that I think is very important.
I think we have a history with all the countries of Europe that we have each other's backs. We helped them in World War II. They have helped us. We have trade agreements. We protect each other. They let us have military bases in their country, and I think it's worth keeping.
We should stay in it. I think it's important. I think any alliance that strengthens countries working together is important.
I believe NATO is very helpful. That is a commitment to basically our friends. That's a bond that we have amongst friends, that we will be there to help you in your time of need. You help us.
NATO's doing a better job at getting its story out to the public. You would have not seen such a slick video from NATO just a few years ago. But like fire insurance, even with a slick video, it's hard to explain why you need to invest in the alliance until your house actually catches on fire.
The nuance that is hard to convey in a video is that NATO is more than an insurance policy. It is also a community of nations that not only share values, but generally agree on the state of the world and is willing to do something about it.